everybody, welcome back to George Does Stuff, the worst knife review channel on all of YouTube's. I'm George, I think, and I do stuff. Mostly knife reviews. Sometimes I do some fishing stuff. This knife actually this channel originally, you can see why this is the worst. I can't even speak in the English. This channel started off as a fishing channel, and then I gave up on that because it's hot outside, and I'm terrible at fishing, almost as bad as I am as knife reviews. Just kidding. No. So it started off as a fishing channel. I divulged over to knife reviews because knives are my passion as well as fishing. And I'm about to do something that is either going to make some people very happy or make people very angry. Oh, by the way, I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I never ask anybody to subscribe to this channel. I never ask for likes. So I very much appreciate the people who do subscribe, and I do appreciate the likes, and I love the comments. I've had comments from all over the world. It really makes my day, and it makes me want to keep on doing this channel, which I plan on doing for a good long time because I have fun doing it. That being said, today is going to harken back to the most popular video I ever made by a long margin. And that video is this knife right here. This knife is the knife that came to the knife community, and the knife community said, "Thank you, sir. May I have another and another and another and another?" Because $10 for a crossbar lock knife in D2 is a hell of a deal. However, I'm not the only knife reviewer to do this. I'm not sure this is really D2 steel. And if it is the worst heat-treated D2 steel on earth. And I have reviewed several knives on this channel, some very recently, that cost the same or less than this knife, and that I feel are much better knives. Now, that being said, this was the first run of this knife. So this was the first knife I ever reviewed. There is another knife that came out in a second batch after. This is from the very first batch that everybody went crazy about 2 or 3 years ago. I can't remember now. So I did a review on this knife. I tried to sharpen this with about 3 different knife sharpening systems, and I failed every time. You might be able to see where see that scraping on the thumb stud for me hitting it with the fixed blade sharpener. A fixed angle sharpener. I mean, it was blah. I don't like this knife. I understand the appeal. I know why people like this knife, but I do not like this knife. So this was the very first one. There's another one of these I have in the other room that I have opened up that I tested, and it felt a little bit better. Because when you're batch heat treating, I mean, D2 steel is a knife steel that lends itself to batch heat treating, but you still have to heat treat it well, or else it just turns into goo, and this is a gooey, crappy knife. So that being said, I bought another one. It felt a little bit better. It held a little bit better edge, and then I got this. This was the next batch. So if you're familiar with the next batch, the next generation, this knife does not have a reversible clip. The original one, this one does. You can see the difference in the color. This was a more flaming orange, and this is kind of more pumpkin orange. And that's not due to carrying, because God knows I didn't carry this knife, this piece of crap. Anyway, so this is the next generation. I was going to test this in May someday, but I doubt it. This may end up just being a giveaway knife. But yeah, this was the next generation. Now, one thing that I hypothesized about this knife and the other knife is that sometimes when they paint these, it affects the heat treat, and because depending on what they're painted with, and sometimes if it's PVD or whatever, it can get it mixed in at the edge and just be garbage, and that might be what happened. I don't know, but these are not my favorite knives. But because I love you guys and because I love making myself insane, we're now at generation 3. So I have high hopes for Generation 3, and I'm going to open this right now. First of all, gone is the pumpkin latte freaking handles, because, I mean, if you're out hunting, it's great to have an orange knife, but why put a black blade on it? Anyhow, I don't know, it's the Halloween edition, I don't know, but this is more my style. This is no coating on the blade at all. It's just what looks to be a stonewashed D2 steel, if it is D2. Black FRN handle. This does have they kept the reversible clip, which is very nice. And let's bust her open. D2 3.5 inch, 3.25 inch D2 high carbon steel blade, 4.25 inch injection molded handle, slide lock, what do you want to call it, and reversible belt clip. Yay! You guys want to read that for yourself? It's right there. You can freeze frame it. All right, folks. We're gonna break her open. We're gonna jailbreak our knife here. Let's see. Oh, monkey! I'll tell you right now, right this second, first look, it's much more attractive without that black crap on the blade. It's a nice looking stonewash. That looks really good. It looks much, much better. Still got the black thumb studs. I'd probably prefer if those weren't black, because if you bang them on something when you're sharpening it, it's going to show up as steel, that steel color. But whatever. Let's see. You know what? The action on this one is actually worse than the original. It's very grindy. That might break in, I don't know, but that feels much worse than the original. I think you can even hear. Yeah, I mean, this is much smoother. Let's see the centering. Yeah, this one's. It looks like it's leaning hard this way. Not the best, but again, we're looking at a $10 knife. This one actually is pretty well centered, believe it or not. It's kind of rare for these. But this is a much better looking knife. If you could see my head right now, you'd see me shaking it. While the grind, the factory edge looks good on this knife does not feel sharp. Not at all, which has been the whole issue I've had with this knife, is that it's great to have a good looking knife. It's great to have a great action on a knife. It's great to have a crossbar lock. There's a lot of redeeming qualities about these knives, but if it won't take an, I mean, even they did a fantastic job on the sharpening choil. Look at that's a big, nice, deep, right behind the plunge. I mean, that's fantastic. But if you can't get the knife freaking sharp, then what's the whole point? And this knife is not sharp. It is not sharp. Let's see. It looks like it's the same clip. Let's go over the positives. I like the black handle. I like the FRN. It feels pretty good. It's right now it actually feels grippy, but you can kind of tell that eventually feels like it's gonna get smooth. But hey, that's all right. I like the crossbar lock. Again, this particular one, of course, this is a sample of one. The action is nowhere near as good as the old one. There is a little blade play side to side. There is pretty good blade play up and down, much more than I would want. Oh, you can see the D2 in there. Let's see if we can get in there and see that. I don't know. Can you see that? Right there it says D2. Check it out. I'm talking like Les Claypool. You know who that is. All right. The jimping up here is speed bumps. This is not jimping. This is not hold your hand. This will not lock you anywhere. It's still comfortable. It's not the most comfortable knife in the world, but it is a comfortable knife. Blade shape is fantastic. The grind pattern on there also fantastic. It looks wonderful. The stone wash actually looks very, very good. It looks very nice. Very good looking knife. Still $9.99. Well, I guess we'll do some comparas. Why not? We'll throw some stuff out here. Here is the Kershaw Bel Air. These are these are not price comparisons. These are just size comparisons. I'm surprised how big this Militai is. It always surprises me how big it is. Here's the Kaiser Militar. Let's grab my old pal here, one of the most underrated knives in the world, in a very similar kind of design. We have our Deca Hogue, which is 1,000 light years beyond this. And just for that, you know what? I was gonna do the Kumu Compadre, but I changed my mind. We're gonna do, that is not the knife I'm looking for. We're gonna do the X-Tuk, whatever the hell this is, which actually is in D2. It has G10 handles and a full liner lock, and it just, in my opinion, a much sexier knife. Now this knife, I have purchased this model for $19. I don't know if it's the tariffs. I don't know if somebody told X-Tuk they have a winner here, which they do. But this knife is now double. I think it's like somewhere between $42 and $45, which is kind of a shame because to me, this knife owned the $20 price category. I mean, there's nothing at $20 really kind of came close to this. I love this knife, but at $45, you got some competition there. This knife is always shocks me. This knife, the factory edge on this knife is ridiculously sharp, and I have not given this knife the props. I don't think many people have. This knife, I got it at Shields for I think $109. You can generally find these, I think, depending if you how far you look around, for maybe no more than $115. For $115, I mean, their heat treat on their Magna Cut, theoretically, this is between like a 62 and 63, so it's properly heat treated, gorgeous shaped blade. Very comfortable knife, crossbar lock, great buttery smooth action, just a super light, handy, great little deep carry but small clip. Holy Lord, get yourself a Deca Hogue if you got the means to get one. Grab one. These things are totally worth it. But back onto our budget god. So now we've got a good idea of the size comparisons. I mentioned the Dems. I'll throw if I can find a picture of Dems, I'll put it up there. Now is the time that I loathe. It is time to do a paper cut test. And I have a feeling I'm going to be really disappointed. All right, now if you're wondering why I complain so much about this knife not being sharp, the problem is if it's not sharp, that means I have to sharpen it. And if I have to sharpen it, then the heat treat comes into play. And if it's heat treated well, a good D2 will sharpen right up without any issue at all. But every time, I've had 2 different versions of this knife, and both times trying to sharpen it has been a complete nightmare. So let's see how well it cuts, and I have a feeling we're all going to know exactly how well. I'm going to do my best here. I'm not going to try to fudge anything. And it will not even catch the paper. Oh my God, I almost said a cuss word. It's trying. It's trying. This is the problem that I consistently have with this knife, is that it's a butter knife that looks like a pocket knife. And it's butter knives. I've seen butter knives with better heat treats than this. All right, so before I get too angry, I'm going to take a pause for the cause. I have a little trick that I like to do. If you guys, if you don't have one and you have the means to get one, get a Work Sharp, the little pocket pal thing they make, and I'm going to run this over the ceramic, see if there's a burr or something I can get off there, and then I'm going to strop it and see if I can't get a little bit better an edge. I have a feeling I'm not going to, but here we go again. Put a little bit of something on there. I have a bad feeling about this yet again. Guess what? Guess what? It feels like it took an edge. I'll tell you what, that does not feel bad at all. You know what, folks? They may have redeemed themselves. And that's kind of what I was really hoping, is that with having a non-coated edge, it would really encourage to have a little bit higher HRC, because when you coat an edge, a lot of times you have to soften the steel up a little bit, or so I've been told via the internet. But I mean, it's 1,000 times better it was out of the box. That's for sure. It's not the sharpest knife I own, but it definitely, something happened there. So I may, one of the great things about softer steels, which is the case with poorly heat treated D2, is that this is something that I'll hand sharpen, because the stones do very well with a little bit softer steels. So I have a feeling I'm going to be able to put a decent edge on this. I also have a feeling that once I put a decent edge on this, it won't last very long, because I don't think this is really, really good D2. I could be wrong. I mean, it did sharpen up with just a little bit of my little trick there to put an edge on it. So maybe this was the diamond in the rough. Maybe this is the knife that everybody on the internet tells me that it could be, because I've heard stories of guys who bought this at Walmart, didn't sharpen it, cut through 10 Coke cans, and then whittled hair afterwards. And I'm like, really? But that's the legend. My case has been it's a crappy edge, and it stays a crappy edge, and it always has been a crappy edge, and it's a $10 edge. Okay, so we may do a follow-up on this. We may not. I don't know. But I do have something for a follow-up. And I'll do a little foreshadowing here, because Walmart has been busy behind the scenes. They realized they struck oil, and so they decided they were going to double down. So this is a new D2. This has got a satin finish on it, and I have a feeling I have very high hopes for this. This is a flipper, which I also love. I think that's great. And it's got aluminum handles, which is very cool. So there is a chance that this may be what everybody says this knife is. This is a good looking knife. I'm never gonna contradict anybody in that. But I mean, a Benchmade bug out's a good looking knife, and then, basically that's what this is. This is a very attractive knife, but this one is the one I'm most excited about. Now this knife feels rock solid. This is also a crossbar lock. It's not in D2, it's in 14C 28N. I think it's 28. I don't have my glasses on. It's a clip point as opposed to being a drop point. Little interesting color they have on the blade, but aluminum scales, different blade steel, a blade steel that I believe, if my memory serves, is much easier to heat treat than D2. 14C 28N is a very good batch heat treat. Actually, this is a Tanto edge. Which I think also would be kind of cool. Yeah, I have very high hopes for this knife. So stay tuned, because there will be more Ozark Trail to come. I'm doing a series of these 3 knives. So this is first. I will try to sharpen this up. Then we're going to do this one next. And then we're going to save this guy for last, because I really hope this knife is going to be exactly what I think it is going to be. Now, this is a $20 knife, so I know I'm going to be busting some budgets here by asking for another $10. But and I don't mean to, listen, you're talking about a guy who just got off unemployment, so I'm not judging anybody. If you only got $10 for a knife, I get it. But I think if you got $10 for a knife, the Nimbus, the Mr. Nimbus, we'll flash some Rick and Morty Mr. Nimbus up there. I think this is going to be a better knife. Just guessing, but I think that's going to be a better knife. And I think the Valor is going to be better than both of these. So it's just a hope. I have no way of knowing until I actually do some testing and get these guys bust out of the wrapper. But stay tuned, because there's more Ozark Trail drama to go. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon.